Buy it, use it, break it, fix it, trash it, change it, mail, upgrade it, charge it, point it, zoom it, press it, snap it, work it, quick erase it, write it, cut it, paste it, save it, load it, check it, quick rewrite it, plug it, play it, burn it, rip it, drag it, drop it, zip, unzip it, lock it, fill it, call it, find it, view it, code it, jam, unlock it, surf it, scroll it, pause it, click it, cross it, crack it, switch, update it, name it, read it, tune it, print it, scan it, send it, fax, rename it, touch it, bring it, pay it, watch it, turn it, leave it, start, format it, Technologic.
Live from studios in South Hall on the beautiful campus of Jacksonville State University, it's the Hey Techies Show. Now, here are your hosts in chairs that should have been thrown out years ago, Michael, Bruce, and the Guru.
Technologic.
I don't know, Bruce. I don't know if we can do this show tonight.
I don't know if we can either. We had a full crew last time.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
And then there were two.
Yeah, then there were two.
But Guru will be back. So
Well,
we're not going to get to the and then there were none.
Well,
Hey,
you never know.
you never know.
You never know. The Lord willing, there will not be that.
It was
That
the
is for
judge.
sure. It was
Spoiler alert.
yeah, right. So, how are you doing?
Wonderful. I'm still kind of getting over my allergies.
Yeah.
But other than that,
Other than
Peachy.
that, you're doing peachy.
yeah.
And so,
How about yourself?
Oh, I'm fine. I appreciate
Just
it.
fine.
Yeah, and
Just fine.
and Guru, pardon me, is somewhere else.
Yeah, he is. Somewhere we would all probably rather be. Or at least on his way to someplace we'd like to go.
Sure,
Right? I think
sure,
it'd be neat.
It would be great.
He's I think everybody, long listeners to the show know, Guru is
He's a world traveler.
I would say he is a cruising fiend, man.
He is.
He loves to cruise.
Yeah, for security purposes, we can't tell you where.
Yeah, we
but,
can't tell you
yeah,
where.
but we don't want everybody just running.
But
over
I'll
there.
give you a hint. It's not on the land.
Yeah,
He's not doing a bus cruise.
yeah, it's not on the land. That's a good.
He's
point.
not on a land yacht.
Yeah, right.
He's out in the ocean somewhere.
Sure. Well, this is the Hey Techie Show, and
Sometimes we talk about tech.
yes, and it is so good to have everybody here tonight. Whoever is joining us, we appreciate it. And by the way, you can call us, and if my little eye catches this light, we'll put you on the Hey Techie Show 256-782.
5600.
And we will be more than happy to have you on the Hey Techie Show. Now, Bruce,
Yes.
last week we covered a short little snippet of
Yeah.
this little crazy thing going on with, what were we covering, Bruce?
I have no idea.
Okay.
We better not be talking about Apple.
Actually, I do have to mention them a little bit tonight, Bruce, but we'll get to that. That'll be later. We'll get to that.
You know
Well,
what?
we
I
had
actually
WWDC.
had a listener ask me if we were going to talk about that. And I said, because he's like, did you watch it? And I was like, Gary's going to cover it all. I was like, I'm just there. to
Actually,
poke
I
fun.
do. I do have an opinion. I did watch. I watched the whole thing from start to finish.
I did not. I totally forgot he wasn't going to be here, or I kind of would have watched it.
Oh no, you wouldn't have. Quit lying to the people. No, we discussed this crazy thing that has recently taken people by storm. By the way, the VPN filter.
Yeah.
If you have one of these routers, I actually had somebody call me and say, "Well, what do I do?" And to be honest with you, I mean, yes, I read a little bit about it, but I don't know what routers are really.
Just assume if you have a router at home,
Right.
that these are the things you need to do.
But the FBI suggested they should reboot them, and that would take care of the initial.
Possibly.
Right. The initial infestation, if you will.
Yeah.
Infection.
Because what they have seen that it lives in RAM.
Right. And so rebooting it theoretically would dump that.
Yeah, and it's because they have seized the command and
That is
control
correct.
servers.
Right.
However,
Yeah.
in the code, they've also discovered that if for some reason the command and control server was taken, it has alternate paths.
Sure.
So,
I mean, that any smart hacker is going to do something like that.
here are the following things you probably should do.
Okay, here we go.
1, find somebody that knows how to put new firmware on your router.
Yeah, right.
Upgrade to the latest firmware that is available. If you have an older router and you have seen that maybe new firmware has not been made available by your manufacturer, it might be time to get a new one. Especially go for one that if it'll automatically update for you. And now there's two sides to this debate. I, for one, like if it breaks it because it doesn't update, that's fine. At least there's a reason why they were pushing that update. Number 2, as with all things, change the administrative password. Do not leave it defaulted. Change it to something that is difficult. Make it, I don't know, I was going to say make it as strong as your bank password, but that may be password 123 for some people. Protect it like you were protecting your bank account, because essentially with some of this, if they get in it, they're in the middle. They can see all the communications.
Correct.
So we said firmware, change that. Oh, and then if there's an option to be able to remotely control it, turn that off and turn off universal plug and play, because a lot of them have implemented that incorrectly, where instead of just doing UPnP on the LAN side, they also did it on the WAN side, which you don't want. So if you don't need UPnP and it doesn't have an option to say no on the WAN, just assume they probably implemented it wrong. And do those things and you'll be set. And like I said, if you can't, if your router's so old that they're not putting out firmware for it, go get a new router. It's about time.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
You might also be pleased and see some increase in speeds.
Yeah,
I know I had a business grade router at home years ago, and when the local internet monopoly around here got their speeds up to what third world countries have, I realized I was only getting about 60% of what I was paying for, and I was like, what in the world is going on here? I know this thing is all gigabit connections. I paid a small fortune for this thing.
right.
Then I started reading. I was like, oh, the WAN port will only do 60 megs. So I had to upgrade. So
Yeah.
pay a little bit of attention when you're buying that kind of
Now,
stuff.
I know some friends of mine called me, particularly they have Cable One. Now, I don't know if their routers were affected for sure. I'm not sure. It would depend on the router, I'm sure, that you have.
Yeah. No.
And their cable modem. But my friend said
the cable modem's a whole different
right,
problem.
correct, I know. But my friend said, well, I have an internal router, and I think it was maybe a Linksys or something. I said, well, it might be on the list. I mean, I know that they had some on the list.
Yeah, they did.
I mean, it's like Asus,
And
D-Link.
And I was going to say this.
That was a Huawei.
What we were going through.
I know, shocking.
What I was going to say is there's also more than just routers on there.
Right.
You said, Bruce, there's some Ubiquiti products.
I did. Yeah.
And I was like, well, one of those is a wireless access point.
Yeah,
I
an
know,
access
and I went and
point,
looked
right.
it up, which I think both of them ended up being. But so definitely go check the list out, and we'll post it. In the show notes.
I was going to say, HeyTechiesShow.com. We have 2 articles.
Oh yeah, we do have a website.
Yes.
And we're on the social meds.
Yes, we are
Social
there.
meds.
HeyTechiesShow.com. Go there. Don't go to the social. Go there. Go to our website, and you'll find all the stories
All
and
the
links.
stuff,
And I'm
yeah.
trying to update them as we go. I've been working on that last couple of weeks doing that. So as
Makes
we
it
talk,
easier.
as we talk, I'm trying to. So if you don't hear me
Glad
sometimes
you're
talking,
doing something.
well, I'd love to have an intern, but we don't have one, and that's exactly what I'd have them do if they were doing it.
Oh, that would be nice.
Yeah, I still would love to work.
Need somebody to go get us coffee.
I mean, they would listen to the show and update the website as we
They
talk.
would sit here and go get us coffee.
I
And then
don't-
we
I
would
don't-
say, why
I
are
don't-
you not also doing the show notes?
I
Can
don't-
you not
yeah,
do
right.
multiple things at
I
one
don't
time?
even want
Do you
co-
not want a job in this industry?
Sure. What job in what industry?
Do you not want to make the big bucks like us?
Right. And Bruce, before we sit in this I would call it the green room, but we're already in the studio, so that can't qualify. But anyway, here lately we really haven't had a show before us, so we've been able to blessedly take our own time in getting the show set up instead of being thrown in here. But anyway, Bruce was telling me about the last what would
of the Mohicans.
No, not of the Mohegans, but the last dwarf.
No, that would be called the Munchkins.
The Munchkins. Sorry, that's the name I was looking for. The last.
It was on
Munchkin.
It's been in the news, and NPR was doing the story before the show.
Yeah,
and you didn't have your headphones on.
No, but the last Munchkin died.
Yeah, the Lollipop Guild.
Yeah. And it was a guy.
Yeah, I do not know his name or exactly how old he was, but I want to say he was pretty close to 100. I was surprised. And I will have to do some more reading and learning on that because I did not realize.
You said you wanted to discuss it. 98, by the way.
I did not say I wanted to discuss that.
Jerry.
Yeah, 90. I did say 98.
Jerry Marin.
Yeah.
The last surviving Wizard of Oz, Munchkin.
Yeah.
He died at 98. Wow.
Yeah.
And by the way, you just search, and most people have heard it, but we cover stuff like, if you've never heard the show, we cover all kind of things. Anything that we find interesting, and we'll tie it into tech. I mean, when you think about that movie, speaking of that, it was a technological wonder at the time.
Yeah, first color.
It was the first color, but the way they did it, the man who did it and wanted it that way fought the studio to have it done this way.
Yeah.
From my understanding of how it went. He wanted it black and white first, and then transition into color. And it was just
which I think was brilliant in so many ways.
It was very brilliant. I mean, here you are,
it's not we're going to do this whole thing in color because this is the new thing and we're going to be the first. It's like we're also going to put some artistic spin on this.
Right. And we're going to go from black and white to color.
And even at the point in the movie when it did it, like it was just...
Oh, yeah. It was perfect. It really was. And, of course, millions and millions and millions of people have seen the film. And
millions and millions of people have not because until...
That's true.
I want to say only a few years ago, my wife had never seen the movie.
It's not for... Some people don't like that kind of thing.
Okay, at least my age group... That's something you watched in school. Yeah. That was like, the teacher doesn't feel like teaching. We're putting the movie on Wizard of Oz. And in Alabama, it was The Miracle Worker. That was the other one.
Yeah.
And...
oh, no. Here we go.
So I got to tell this.
Brought back some memories here.
Well, my wife is not from this state. Neither is her family. And whenever the first couple of times that this would happen, they'd kind of look at me funny and I had to explain.
Okay.
But whenever my daughter was younger and she would not sit at the table and eat, I would be like, sit down, Helen Keller, and eat at the table.
Oh, no.
Because of the part of the movie where Helen Keller's right around the table. I'm like, no, you're not going to be a wild child.
Right.
So.
Yeah, that's true.
And they would just look like, what are you talking about? I was like, have y'all not ever seen The Miracle Worker? No. Why would we?
Yeah, right. Right. Why would we, right?
So that's a little
there you go.
Peek into my dad humor.
Well, the Hey Techies show will be right back. So
stay with us.
Don't go anywhere.
Hey Techies show.
Be right back.
Don't go anywhere. There's more in the queue lined up just for you.
I spend a lot of time in the garage, but even more time in the rain, sleet, and mud. In '95, I helped tow your moving trailer. In '05, I helped you get out of a ditch. Yeah, I know I'm a bit rusty, and sadly in '09, it was sparks from me, your handy chains, dragging behind your truck that accidentally started a wildfire.
Sparks from dragging chains can start a wildfire. Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Do you need a job? Are you stuck in a job you don't really like? Do you want to make more money? If you answered yes to any of these questions, your local Alabama Career Center can help you. Career Centers provide services to job seekers who are looking to land a job, make a career move, or to get some valuable vocational or educational training. Call or visit your local Career Center today, where professionals will help you with your resume, teach you how to nail that interview, and can even help you get training for that dream job. All of these services are available at no cost to you. The first step in finding your dream job is making sure you're prepared to land it. And don't just take our word. Keosha Smith, now an LPN, is very happy with the guidance she received.
My overall experience, I would say, was totally awesome. If you're looking for a job or if you want a better job, the Career Center would be a wonderful choice.
Visit us today, www.joblink.alabama.gov. Sponsored by the Alabama Department of Labor, the Alabama Broadcasters Association, and this station.
When I grow up, I want to be a new pair of blue jeans.
When I grow up, I want to be a kid's first computer.
When I grow up, I want to be a glass countertop in a new home.
When I grow up, I want to be a kid's best birthday present.
When I grow up, I want to be a football stadium.
When I grow up, I want to be a warm fleece on a cold day.
When I grow up, I want to be a fancy backsplash.
I want to be a bike that races around the country.
When I grow up, I want to be a bench on a forest trail.
I want to be a rocking chair on a sunny porch.
I want to be a skyscraper.
I want to be a
When I grow up, I don't want to be a piece of garbage. And if you recycle me, I won't be.
Give your garbage another life. Recycle. Learn how at iwanttoberecycled.org. A public service advertisement brought to you by Keep America Beautiful and the Ad Council.
Welcome into the Hey Techie Show. Hope everyone is doing well tonight. It's just me and Bruce is enjoying the Rolling Stones. Right, Bruce?
That's correct. I was going to continue singing, but I was like, I'm pretty sure my mic's hot.
Yes, it is. Well, we were talking about a little bit of everything, and Bruce was telling a great story about his parenting skills with Helen Keller as a mentor.
Yeah.
The story. But speaking of these type things, movies and such, apparently an Australian court has ruled, according to an article here, that YouTube is partly liable for
Bono?
Not U2. YouTube.
Gotcha.
Not Bono. Although he might be liable too, I don't know.
He might be.
Is partly liable for copyright breaches. Meaning there are videos on YouTube that other individuals have placed, and they're saying YouTube is basically complacent in not policing that. That's that. If you want to get nuts and bolts here, that's what the article is basically saying. The judgment. Let's see. It's right here. The court found that because of the site's YouTube links mechanisms for sorting and filtering, in particular the generation of list of particular categories, its analysis of users' browsing habits, and its tailor-made suggestions of content, YouTube is no longer playing the role of a neutral intermediary. Basically, they're saying that YouTube is not on the sidelines on this and just allowing the content to flow.
I feel like a competent lawyer would be able to easily argue against
Now we're
this.
talking about Australia. We're not talking. I'm not saying there's not competence. That's not what I'm meaning. We don't.
Sure.
I don't really know.
But I could easily say, well, who is it? Is it the IEEE? Whoever is responsible for TCP, that the way that's engineered, that allows specifically for copywritten material to be transmitted.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not defending them. I always knew we were coming to this at some point.
Yeah, I don't.
That's the reason why I've tried.
YouTube's not in the business of hosting copywritten material. That's not how they
No,
make their
I
money.
know. I agree.
And they do actively combat it. So you can't say there's negligence there.
Well, I think what they're saying is at least this company, and here let's back up. It's a TV studio station over in Australia called +4.
Yeah.
And apparently this lawsuit stems back from a 2014 lawsuit that they originally brought against YouTube. So we're talking 4 years, nearly 4 years, depending on when they happened, in the making of this particular lawsuit.
So I saw a comment today, and we'll get into this later. I'm not going to say who it was about and what it concerned, but I kind of almost am starting to agree with that comment of, I think this is just foreign countries' way of taking American money.
Oh, there's no question about it. I've said this.
Oh, was that your comment?
No, but I've said it before, and other people have said it too. It's a shakedown.
It is, yeah. It's like, well, that's not,
Now, I'm not going to speak for Australia, but I'm glad you brought that up because I do think the EU in general, which, let's be honest, they don't have constitutions for individual rights over there in these other countries. And given that, they also don't have a real form of capitalist government or capitalist system in general. Most of these areas have a social leaning system, socialist or what have you. What I'm getting at is they need cash.
Sure, yeah.
They've been in trouble for a long time, so this is a way to shake down very wealthy companies who they think have been infringing, or they can make a case one way or the other that they can sell people on that they've been infringing on, what have you. I mean, just you come up with it.
That's a theory.
Well, that's my theory.
Yeah.
But I think that there's an argument to be made that it could be a shakedown in some sense of the word.
Yeah. Are we going to talk about the EU now?
The what now?
The EU. Is that segueing into
what
they're wanting to do to...
Yeah, they're wanting to do that to Android. Well, I don't mean Android. They're wanting to do that to Google. But they've been after Google for
they had
years.
already found them once.
Right.
But now they're wanting to do an antitrust on
if you find
Android OS.
Listen. If you find them once and the check clears...
yeah, that's true.
What's going to hold you up from finding them again?
That's what I'm saying. At some point, Google's going to have to let them know who's number one.
Yeah, only way,
maybe twice.
In the only
with
way,
both hands,
right? In the only way Google can do it.
Yeah, and just say, no, we're not paying that. What are you going to do? Come arrest us?
Well,
what are they going to really? So let's go.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, right. Go ahead.
What could they do? What could they do? Now, sure, China could do it with their Great Firewall of China,
and they do already. So.
Yeah,
and then the people just have to live with it. Yeah. I mean, that's my point.
And then I think that's what I would do. If I don't know. I mean, do you do that risk with Google? Say, all right, fine, then your people don't don't get our services. They'll be mad at you, not at us.
Well,
and the thing is, the case that they're bringing against Google.
Yeah, I'm gonna read some about that in a second.
If I was Google and I'm like, well, if you don't bring the same case against Apple within the next 6 months, we're countersuing.
Yeah, but who do you sue?
I know, but then you say, and not only we're going to come for what you sued us for, but we're going to take every single bit of the money that you have. We're going to rake you over the coals. I mean,
they can try.
That's the thing. Google probably has the GDP of all those countries combined.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
The
Royals.
Maybe they say, Apple, let's team up on this together because they're going to be coming after you next. And guess what, Samsung?
Well, yeah. Now, Samsung has a different issue. You're right about that, but Samsung is not based in America. So they have a whole nother
That's true.
issue with that. I mean, they've got their own, over in South Korea. So
okay, then Microsoft. All right, Microsoft.
How has Microsoft escaped this so much that you rarely hear? I mean, it's nowhere the target over there. Now over here, they were the target and still are to some extent.
90?
Yeah, it's been a while back. That was over IE and a few other things.
Yes. Well, it was absolutely
And whether right or wrong, I mean, it was what it was. But that's all under the bridge now. But I'd have to look it up. I don't think
I'm sure they've had multiple.
Yeah, they have, but I don't think they've been. I mean, not like they're shaking down the newer companies.
Was it
like Google
2001?
Yeah, it was back a while.
I was thinking it was like 98.
Well, that'd have been a good history.
That would have been.
Yeah.
But it's not February.
Well, hey, you know what? We can stretch it.
Yeah, I'll say I've been out of practice on the.
I know.
This Week in Tech.
Tried to get on
history.
Yeah, I got to get that back.
I have been out of practice.
It's not your fault.
Yeah, it's Gary's.
No, I totally agree. Blame him totally.
Blame him. He's
Blame
not
him.
here to defend himself.
Blame him.
He's probably on the plane saying, "Yeah."
He's not listening to us.
He might be. He
No.
said they had live.
Yeah, we're
TV
not live on satellite though.
Got that TuneIn app or whatever.
You
every chance I get.
Yes. It's definitely. Oh, I'm going to pull this up here if everybody will bear with me. I have a huge list tonight in our stack of stuff, and I've just got to look down here through it. Let's see, that was where okay, here we go. EU to hit alphabet. I want to get this up because there was something fairly interesting here in this, and it really tied into what we've been talking about. Okay, and this is from CNBC, and headline: Alphabet dips on report that EU is prepping huge fines. And then we talked about this before. They've been hit before. And this one is reportedly going to be $11 billion.
But they said $11 billion, but they expected it could
they
be
find.
Up
I'm
to,
sorry, up to 11. I apologize. I didn't.
But they
read that
expected
right.
to be less because they're like, we're not really going to find you that. We'll make this all.
Well, they
go
were
away
previously
for,
fined 2.7.
Yeah.
For its dominance in search.
Yeah, but Google's appealed the fine
to unfairly point people to its own comparison shopping service. Now. Well, I know we've talked. God, I hate to bring this back up because we hashed this out a while back, but that irks me, and I tell you why it irks me. It's their search engine. I just have a real problem with this.
It's not like you can't use another search engine.
That's exactly right.
If they said we're not going to allow you to use another search engine,
that would be totally different.
That would be different, absolutely. But to say your search engine's pushing you to your own products, well, not crap, Sherlock.
Well, you go into JCPenney's and you don't get other products. If you go into, I'm JCPenney. I'm not using you. I'm using an example. Or Walmart. If you go to Walmart, you don't get. You know,
say, hey, choose Sam's. Well, I guess they don't have Sam's Choice anymore. Whatever.
Whatever
their brand is.
Yeah, I know shocking. Value, something.
Yeah, great value. Great value. Yeah, they're going to be like, great value. Buy this. It's cheaper.
$1 cheaper or 10 cents cheaper.
Now these other things are available to you.
Right.
Just like Google. Yahoo's available
I totally
to you.
agree.
DuckDuckGo's available to you.
Yes.
It's just, man, I could not be an attorney for Google because I would be up there like, you people are idiots. Why are we even here? Bye. And they're like, no, you can't go.
This has been going on for a while, by the way. Yeah. This is not new. They've been trying to go after them about, because we've talked about on the show about Android and the App Store. This is really what they're going after them about, is Android and its dominance in the App Store. The Android mobile operating system, abusing its dominance through the Android mobile operating system.
Do what now?
That's what this new one's about.
Say that again.
It says officials will hit the company with a negative result and a fine of up to $11 billion for abusing its dominance through the Android mobile operating system. So says this article on CNBC. So, but
how's that any different from what Apple's doing through the iTunes store or whatever it's called?
Well, I mean, this goes in. This is another thing like we just talked about. But the EU, according to this, they're concerned about tech giants and tech monopolies.
Yeah.
I don't know. I still think this is all a shakedown. I'm sorry.
I mean,
that's just Michael's opinion. You don't have to agree with it.
You're going to have to pay us a couple billion each year. Now, we'll go through this song and dance.
Yeah, right. And we'll feel good about it, and you'll feel good about it. Yeah.
Say, all right.
And it's just like,
it's going to be
it's almost like a fee, right? A fee or a tariff for doing business.
Yeah. Without calling it that.
Right.
Can't slap a tariff on it. I don't know why they slap tariffs.
Now, wait a minute. Let me read this again. It's one of three investigations. It's one of three investigations launched by the EU into U.S. tech giant amid growing concerns of tech monopolies. But look at this. Get this, Bruce.
Yeah.
Critics and lawmakers have advocated for breaking up dominant tech giants like Google, Amazon, and Facebook. So far, the biggest threat to Silicon Valley has come out of Europe.
Well, you're not going to break up an American company from overseas.
I'm wondering if they're referring to. Yeah, I know, but that's what I'm trying to figure out. Is the article referring to that lawmakers over here and advocates want to break up?
Oh, yeah.
I think that's what they're trying to say. Is my guess. And I understand a case could be made for this. What's funny to me is you just brought up Apple's not even mentioned.
Yeah. Because they love Apple.
Yeah, somehow they are under the radar of this. I don't know.
Well, they were keeping their tax haven over there.
Yeah, that's true, and that got hit over there. Yeah, that's true.
So after that goes, they may be like, "All right, Apple, we need some of that money back somehow."
Yeah. Well, anyway, that this is interesting. So we'll just have to see. But this is, of course, not a surprise.
Yeah.
Unfortunate, but hey,
it is what it is.
Not yet. You're Bruce is needing a break.
I am.
Where do you got to run to, Bruce?
I'll tell you later.
Oh,
just like a few minutes.
Well, okay. Bruce has talked me into a break. I'm sorry. We're gonna have to. Yeah. Bruce is running the show now. I had no idea.
No, that's why I gave you the signal.
No, it's okay.
But we'll be right back. Stay with us. Hey, Techies Show.
No representation is made that the opinions of hosts here are better than those of the average tech show, but we think so.
Do you need a job? Are you stuck in a job you don't really like? Do you want to make more money? If you answered yes to any of these questions, your local Alabama Career Center can help you. Call or visit your local Career Center today, where professionals will help you with your resume, let you practice interviewing, and give you the opportunity to train for a job. All of these services are available at no cost to you. Visit us today, www.joblink.alabama.gov. Sponsored by the Alabama Department of Labor, the Alabama Broadcasters Association, and this station.
Do you have a product, service, event, or just about anything to promote, but you have always assumed it was just too expensive? Then listen up. It's not. Here at WLGS, we have every patron spot available with a pricing plan that is sure to fit any budget. Just think your very own patron announcement with the potential to reach thousands. There are a few restrictions, but let us worry about that. Email us at questions@heytechieshow.com. That's questions@heytechieshow.com.
Right now, it's a great time for anybody ready to get some real work done in Alabama. Whether you're somebody who needs to hire, somebody who wants to get hired, or a student who wants to know how to prepare to get hired, there's a new unified force for your success and a brighter future. It's time to get to work, Alabama. Alabama works.
Sponsored by Alabama Works, the ADA, and this station. Visit alabamaworks.com.
Tweens have mastered the art of tuning out. Jen, there's a spider in the car. We're turning your room into a home gym. See? Nothing. But some messages need to get through. Like making sure they're buckled up the whole ride, every time. Do whatever it takes to make your child listen. Jen, I friended your boyfriend.
Wait, what?
Buckle up, sweetie.
Never give up until they buckle up. Learn more at safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
This is 91.9 FM, WLJS Jacksonville, your cure for common radio.
Welcome back into the Hey Techie Show. So glad to have everybody in with us this evening and hope you're having a great night. And Bruce and I we're minus the guru, but we're still having a great night anyway, talking about all kind of stuff. And, of course,
I feel much better now.
Bruce had to take a break.
I did.
Had to get an early break in.
Yeah, 40 ounces of water, man. It's hard to hold.
Oh, my goodness.
I didn't realize I drank that much water. And I was like, oh, goodness.
You know, I've told this before, but a long time ago, before things were more automated, DJs had a long song for bathroom runs.
Yeah.
If you heard a really long song,
Purple Rain.
There's something that DJ probably had to go.
Purple Rain, which this episode is brought to you by Mio.
Oh, my goodness.
Not really. We don't have sponsors. But I'm drinking purple.
Yeah.
So that's what we should have played was Purple Rain.
Yeah, probably got it on here somewhere.
Yeah, probably.
If you did not know, and unfortunately Bruce is not interested in this at all, but if you did not know, this week Apple had its software event called WWDC, which is Worldwide Developers Conference. And they get together out in Cali and cheer for the latest new thing. And, buddy, it was that.
Yeah.
I think they were cheering when they weren't supposed to cheer. I don't know. I often think that somebody could get up there and tell the saddest story, and at the end they would be like,
"Oh yeah,
woo! It's a new app, yeah. Woo!" Now there were some interesting things. However, I'll tell you, in just my overall view of being a Mac user and watching this, I do not have an iPhone and I do not have an Apple Watch. I do have an iPad, so some of this might...
And a MacBook.
Yeah, but I use them. They're not mine. They're not mine.
Yeah,
I'm talking
sure.
about stuff I own.
Sure.
I use them for work purposes.
You
But
basically
anyway,
own it.
I don't.
You use it all the time.
Yeah. Anyway, what I was getting at before I was rudely interrupted, which is not unusual on this show.
Why are you complaining?
Really.
You're not used to the abuse yet?
Yeah. But I think if you were to research what happened the other day, I think I haven't done this myself, but my guess is the high return of searches would be a couple of things that they shown new. Now, no only software, no hardware information update,
which we expected.
Which we did, but they have done in the past. They have done the thing called One More Thing.
Yeah.
They have done. Now, most of the time they do September and Google does October for hardware releases. But anyway.
So tell me what's new?
Well, for iOS, okay, which they spent most of the time on, by the way, and a good bit of time. iOS had a good bit of time. One of the main things that people are going to talk about and have already been talking about is Memoji.
Oh.
Creating your own animated emoji, they call it a Memoji. And basically it lets you pick from all these different types of skin colors, hairstyle color, even some other products like earrings or, glasses.
Yeah.
To create your own facial Memoji. That was one of the big things. Now, I don't know whether that was big for them. They did a brief live demo of it, and they seem to be excited about it, as I can understand. It does work well from what, of course, all their live demos seem to work well. Another interesting thing, I did think this was actually interesting. They went ahead and pushed forward with their AR.
Yeah.
One of the ARs that they showed, they had two they actually showed. One was a live demo with the Lego company. And they had a table.
So you know it's going to be expensive.
That is true. That's true. Now, I don't know about the app, but they showed two people using an app, using this app. They had on stage, on a table, a particular Lego set. Not the entire, but they took a picture of it with the app, and then it expanded around that with other roads, other Lego sets that weren't really there.
Yeah. To unlock this Lego kit.
That's true.
It's going to cost $79.99.
Yeah, right, exactly, per block.
Legos are expensive.
They are very expensive. And I've got kids, so yeah, I know. Anyway, and it allowed them to play like a game. So this one game was that the building caught on fire.
Yeah.
And they had to bring in a fire truck and put it out, and they had to rescue juggling clowns off the top of the building, and they got in a helicopter and rescued them, blah, blah, blah. And things like that. They could get in sports cars and race around the different city streets. They could go to different buildings. They could go inside the building and open up and see what was inside the building. Things like that. And I can only imagine there would be no limits for this.
Sure.
Other than imagination is about the only thing I could think of. That was a fairly decent live demo they showed. And there was another one with a game where it looked like a building blocks, like a big Jenga, except not closed, just like different types of building blocks, like rounded arches, big towers. And at two ends of this table, virtually, were two slingshots. And you would have to pull the iPad back and let the slingshot go and knock over as many of these wooden things. And two people could play and others could watch with the iPad, watch it go on. The AR, I think, as far as gaming, was very interesting. How far they've come with it. And, of course, Microsoft has pushed this. They're, the VR and AR. And this was all done from the iPad. Let's see, I was trying to run down the things I could think of that I really were sort of blown away by. In a way, I say blown away. They were interesting, very interesting. And to me, there were other things for iOS. They added some, some more controls, and they changed a few ancillary things. I didn't find it. It was much faster. They're going to do some more work for the camera. And one thing they were really heavy in talking about was how they are going to support back to devices from 2013.
Yeah.
On up to now. So 5 years, basically, of devices that this software this fall will support. The other big thing, and I'm going to move on. I don't want to take too much time tonight because, if you want to watch the keynote, you can see all of it. There's a new product that they are promoting, and I think I even mentioned it to you. It's called FaceTime Groups.
Yeah.
You can have up to 32 people at once in these groups. And basically, I don't want to turn my laptop around, but you can see squares. They have like 1, 2, 3, 4 squares in different places, and then you down in the bottom. And then if you have more than that, they have a row.
Yeah.
And it works.
So it's like a way for a lot of people to
Yes. Now YouTube. Yes, I know. I agree. But now it is a little bit different than that.
Sure.
But it is very similar. I totally agree.
Yeah.
They expanded on what YouTube's done. I don't know whether YouTube currently has a limit on. I know the Hangouts are 10 still. From what I understand, the live Hangouts are still 10. But this. I don't know how well it will work with that. I mean, they had a good mini on there. You could see more at the bottom, and they could scroll through and press on one, and it would bring them to the front. Or if they spoke, it would bring them into the main area if the person spoke, and you could see them and interact with them too. Everyone could hear you. That was another thing. And as I said, the Memoji, and then, of course, they've got a few more animojis that they've put on there. They've added things to the camera. You can add more effects to that kind of stuff. And AR, as I said, that was a big deal, and that was very interesting. Let's see. They're changing a little bit about notifications on the front. You're going to be able to group notifications together, like notifications, to be able to swipe through them quicker. And then it came down to this. As we talked about, how do we get you off the phone because you're spending so much time?
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, it does. So much time on this phone that you don't realize how much time you're actually spending.
Yeah.
So they came up with this unique idea to actually give you a system now.
Wait.
To see how much time you're spending per app.
They're selling this as their idea.
Well, no, but I'm saying that.
Oh, okay. I was like, did they really present it this way? So I think this is, you're just gonna see this from Silicon Valley because they all probably lunch together and communicate. Like, I mean, it's some, it gets around. It's a great idea. This is what we're working on. They're like, oh, that is a great idea. I'm going to take that back and we're going to do the same thing. I totally get that. Like, that's fine that they're doing that. I think it's a great idea.
It's called screen time.
Yeah.
Screen time. So you also can.
I wish, you know what? I wish just once, and I think Google should be the one to do it, especially with the Pixel 3.
Yeah.
They should say, you know what? We think Apple did something right, so we're bringing that to. I wish they would just say they did this right, and we're going to do that. Because Apple's never going to do it. But Google should, fire the first shot.
Well, they've already taled about it.
And say,
a week before.
Well, no, what I'm saying. When they come out with the Pixel 3, they can say, you know what? But the only thing, we still got the notch. But with the design of the phone was good, so that's what we will.
We'll get into that
later. Good
job,
job, Apple.
We got a whole nother hour for that deal. We got to get into that, too.
We're
not finished with that, by the way. The notch discussion will be back here. Don't worry. If you want notch discussion, come back for our dose.
Yeah.
We will be getting that. But so anyway, that's that, and there's more to it, and I'm not going to dig deep and run over every little. I'm not going to do that because the links going to be
will do it when it comes.
The links. I don't know that he was all that impressed.
I can see why.
Okay, so let's move to the next thing.
Okay,
let's move to Watch OS.
Okay, so we're still on Apple. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah. I got a few more things.
All right.
Just ancillary, but you've got to know this one.
All right.
Walkie-talkie.
Do what now?
Yes. A new feature on Watch OS is that you can press a button and, like Nextel used to be, walkie-talkie between
push to talk
to another Apple user, Apple Watch user.
Over.
That is a
LTE
great question. It would have to be.
I'm interested in this.
Yes, and they demoed it. So 2 Apple Watch users could walkie-talkie back and forth. And it's a new feature this fall in Watch OS 5. And
how loud is this speaker on an Apple Watch?
Well, see, no demos. Yeah, actually, it is because I've heard somebody talk on one before.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Loud? What I'm saying is, if you were in a pretty loud area and
so you
beep, beep, are you going to hear it?
Yes. Oh yeah, you'd be able to hear it. Okay. But now I think
because some of those Nextel phones were
if I think I'm right about this.
Oh my goodness!
You can
I just thought of something.
You can tie those AirPods to your watch, and you can hear it.
I just thought of something. Oh, this is gonna be great. So this is the thing: the people that used to have those, and they're still around. They're just not as prevalent as they were back.
Exactly.
I don't even remember what year that was, but it's like everybody had one. And people would be in public, and you're just like, oh, my God, that's so annoying. Just take a phone call. Like, I don't want to hear you, beeping back and forth. It's annoying.
Right.
I wonder if it's going to create a whole new set of annoying users from Apple. I think it might, because everybody's like, oh, this is so cool. Beep, beep. And I'm sitting there talking.
Hold on. Let me. I wanted to I think they did some more work as far as, let's see, walkie-talkie. I don't remember them talking much exactly how this is going to connect. I'm sure they did, but they don't show it here.
Well, they probably just said, you can do one-touch connect, blah, blah, blah. And they said, you don't need to know about all the technical stuff. It's going to use your data.
Well, I'm sure it'll do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, press to talk.
So they call it press to talk.
Then let go to listen. So like a it works just like a walkie-talkie would. And of course, they improve Siri and podcast and
guarantee the next phone, we're bringing it to the phone.
Hey, I thought about that. I actually, you Joe, I was out in the yard this week and thinking about that too. I said they're going to bring this to the phone. I mean, they'd be crazy not to.
We're going to go backwards.
Well, yeah, but
we have no new ideas.
And here
we have no new ideas. Let's bring back old ones.
Yeah. Well, I can see it on the watch, actually. It actually is an interesting idea on the watch because of the way the watch works. I mean, real quick, press to talk. I mean, I can see. Yeah. Oh, they're dropping the very first watch. The very, very not the one, but the one before, the very, very initial watch. They're going to drop. This won't work.
Off of what?
Well, they're basically going to kill it because they're not going to update it. This is not going to get the update.
And we had this debate whenever they're coming out. We talked about
but
this isn't something you're going to be able to hand down to
Oh yeah,
I mean, I guess you can.
Yeah.
It's just not going to work.
Well, it's going to work for what it is.
It'll
work for what it is. No, it'll work for what it is, but it won't do some of these features.
Software update.
An old iPhone works for what it is, but it doesn't do much. You won't connect to the App Store.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really
you can make phone calls.
You could make. Yeah, you can.
You probably can't text anymore.
Maybe not. I don't know. I don't have an.
You may be able to. You may be able to do SMS, but you're not going to be able to do iMessage.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's likely doesn't work. That's true. Yeah. Man, I'm running out of time. So I
know I got stuff I want to talk about too, but we'll get it.
A new the next OS, Mac OS is my goodness, I can't speak tonight.
Well, what were you trying to say?
Mojave.
Oh, Mojave.
Like the desert. You know, they were on mountains for a while in California, and a lot of what that was about is their new dark theme. You know, they've got a new dark theme, and so Mojave at night is their new dark theme. And it had some interesting things in Mojave that they've changed. They completely redesigned the Mac store. They're adding something that would be called basically stacks on the desktop, but I don't think that's exactly what it's called, but it's going to clean up your desktop. So if you had a bunch of pictures, it would go under pictures, all of them, but you could scroll through them and look through them and choose one.
I see what you're saying.
Under one.
Yeah, it's gonna say, hey, we noticed you're not a very clean person.
Correct, right? It's going to help.
You're not organized. We're going to.
It's going to help you organize.
I guess I can see that because man, there's of course people are going to complain about. I knew where that was. Don't move that.
Well,
I can because that's the type of people that do that stuff. I left it there for a reason, so I know where it's at. Well, don't move that icon for me. Yeah. That's how I know to open my thing.
I was right. Stacks. I should have went with what I knew I was right. I was right about.
So they went from mountains in California to the Mojave Desert.
That is
in California.
correct. That's the big news. And then they had Apple TV. They basically Atmos sound got added to Apple. I mean, that's basically what it got added. It'll support Atmos sound. 4K, the 4K will.
I'm really surprised Bose with their God, what are they called? Whatever their home theater in a box is it Lifestyle? Their Lifestyle series?
Sure.
I'm surprised they haven't incorporated that. Of course, they're probably going to tell you it projects sound to do all that or whatever. But I don't think they have a Dolby Atmos endorsement on theirs. I'm going to have to look that up. And you'll find out if they have it in Our Dose.
Yep. Our Dose coming up next.
You've listened this long, so stick around for Our Dose.
technologic.
Use it, break it, fix it, trash it, change it, melt, upgrade it, chart it, point it, zoom it, press it, snap it, work it, quick erase it, write it, cut it, paste it, save it, load it, check it, quick rewrite it, plug it, play it, burn it, rip it, drag it, drop it, zip and zip it, lock it, fill it, call it, find it, view it, code it, jump and lock it, surf it, scroll it, pose it, click it, cross it, crack it, switch, update it, name it, read it, tune it, print it.
Well, welcome back into the Hey Techies show, where Bruce.
That was a very good break.
Well, Bruce, you wasted part of the break while you were reading up on stories for the next hour.
That is true.
You know,
well, it was one that I can't believe I did not. Well, I mean, I haven't really been. I guess really haven't been on the internet today.
Ooh.
At least not. Yeah, I guess I really haven't up until we got here. So, but it was a story from earlier this morning. AL.com posted, which I guess I need to put in the show notes. Would be helpful.
I'll just search for it. Don't worry about it, Bruce.
But Amazon may be coming to an Alabama near you. In Bessemer, they're going to build a $325 million fulfillment center. So today, the Jefferson County Commission approved an incentives package for Amazon. Let's see, they're planning to build a $325 million advanced robotic fulfillment center in Bessemer. It'll employ up to 1,500 workers, and employees will receive full benefits and an average wage of $14.65 an hour.
Wow!
So they are wanting to be open by Labor Day of next year. So pretty quick. And I think we have covered on this show. Before I'm putting it in the show notes, just wait.
I'm done. I've already got it.
Great.
Sorry.
I think we've talked about on the show before about how Amazon has such a massive robotic workforce, but they still heavily rely on human beings.
Yeah.
And I think we talked about it whenever we were talking about Tesla, how they have with the Model 3 production, they betted pretty heavily on robotics, and it's not really panned out. And they've needed more human help than what they originally anticipated. So we're still good for something as humans.
Good grief. What are you talking about?
The robots haven't taken over yet.
The robot. Okay.
But yeah, I think that's great. I was like, I just saw the headline. I was like, oh my goodness, how have I missed this? So that's going to be interesting.
Speaking of this,
well, I was going to say,
they
still haven't announced where they're putting their second headquarters.
Yeah,
which
I thought Birmingham was off the list. So I'd been told.
Well, have they really said all these people are off the list and they've got it narrowed down to a few? I really think Raleigh-Durham's going to get it. That's, to me, what would make sense on so many levels, because you got the research triangle right there. Because they're more than just a shopping
right, exactly,
store,
right,
shopping website. They got a lot, so I think that would make sense to put it there. You definitely got the support system there for that, I think.
Okay. I believe you.
I've
never been to Raleigh-Durham, so.
Oh man, it's nice.
Yeah, so you say.
I just did.
Guru put something or actually sent me an email about something that he wanted us to maybe mention because he thinks it's important. And I do agree. Did you see where the biggest labor strike in decades may happen?
For
the
UPS?
Teamsters and UPS could strike. But,
UPS has lost a lot of contracts.
Right. When I think about this, though, that does sound, and I remember years ago, I was in retail when UPS they were striking before the Teamsters went strike. This was in the 90s.
Now, the Teamsters is more than just UPS.
No, I know. They cover others. I got it. But UPS was a big one at the time in that.
Yeah.
It says here the transports equal to, let's see, the shipments UPS transports equal to 6% of the nation's GDP.
Wow.
I mean, it's a good haul.
That is a good haul. Good Lord.
UPS employs about 260,000 Teamsters and has added 40,000 union members since its current contract was reached 5 years ago. So, I think, though, I've got to set something here. I apologize. I think, though, that what's interesting to me is that another company has a great opportunity to step up its game when this happens.
United States Postal Service.
I'm serious. If this happens, somebody needs to look at this as an opportunity to say, hey, we'll take your packages. Hey, you having trouble? We'll get them delivered. I'm just saying that there's an
Sure.
There's not saying that'll happen.
There is opportunity there, but there's also, how many people did you say they employ?
Yeah, I know. 260,000 Teamsters.
Yeah.
Now, they have other people that are not
absolutely,
union.
that are not unionized, sure.
Right.
But there's at least 260,000 jobs that we know of that are in jeopardy because of that. And
Well,
they're going to get it figured out.
Well, I know. That's true.
And I know personally where you stand.
1997 was the last one.
But sometimes, that I can think of several places where they're needed.
I can think of several places they were definitely needed at one time.
Yeah,
but I
guess that's a very good point. That is a very good point.
I think there's tons of laws now that.
Well,
yes, there's regulations.
Sure,
and
there's regulations.
I think sometimes I know I'll be shot at this. I think sometimes the way it's used now is to funnel money a lot of the times to one party or the other to wield power.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, no, yeah, I can see that.
I
think
it's clearly doing that.
What I think, and if I had the know-how, I would totally start a union for nurses.
Oh,
I think they need one. And I think you probably know some nurses.
I do,
and I think most of our listeners probably do. Ask them about their job sometimes.
Yeah,
and you would think, oh wow, you do need somebody that can collectively say, no, you're not going to treat these people like this.
I understand that.
Because the doctors will tell you all day, oh yeah, those nurses, man, they're great. They're the best, blah blah blah. But they do absolutely nothing to help them as a whole.
Well,
I'm not saying not individually.
I think that's going to be it,
but a lot of them just pay lip service. They're just like, oh yeah, man, nurses are great. They catch stuff and do that, blah blah blah. Because things that doctors do, if a nurse did even a hint of what a doctor did, sometimes they'd be fired. Whereas doctors get a slap on the hand.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, I'm not in the healthcare field, so I can't attest to that admittedly.
Yeah, I think they should probably. And I've said that since I was 12 years old. I thought, man, I could totally start a union for nurses.
Totally start a union for nurses.
But
there
I was
you
like,
go.
I don't know where to get started. And I don't want to be Jimmy Hoffa.
Jimmy Hoffa.
So, anyways, back to tech.
Well, anyway, I wanted to wrap something up here because I thought it was very funny. So, apparently, in iOS, the revamped Do Not Disturb feature got a few funny guys thinking. And one of them was Conan O'Brien. He came up, I guess, with a skit or a commercial, and I didn't see it on his show, but it was called The Basic Phone. It's like one of those ads.
Yeah.
And it said the make-believe phone has novel way of reducing screen time by getting rid of the display completely. It had no display. It was just a piece of metal, basically, with no display. And that was his way to limit screen time, which was really comical. It said the tagline was, "It will enable users to get back to your life." We release you. Anyway, I thought it was pretty interesting. Okay, so we'll have to start this and finish it in the next segment too. But I thought I would just go ahead and bring this up because we sort of alluded to it earlier. We have on this show recently talked about this infamous now known notch. The notch,
okay.
The notch
So
and
we're gonna
notch.
bring it up.
The notch and notch.
And I've said this. That's maybe last week on the show.
Yeah, we've talked about it several weeks. So I mean, this has been brewing for some time.
And I'm like, it's getting well. And we talked about Lenovo.
Yeah.
And now, did we bring up on the show that the notch is there?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, we're getting to that.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. You sent me a thing this week.
Oh, so we didn't talk about.
We
this
haven't
on the
talked
show.
about that.
Okay.
No.
All right.
But
we alluded to it last week.
Yes, but we've also talked about there are those without the notch. Very few phones. Most phones are going to a notch.
Oh yeah.
But there are some that
But they're not bezel-less.
Yeah, they're not bezel-less.
They're not basically an iPhone 10 without the notch.
Yeah, they have a chin on the bottom.
Yeah.
I think the Pixel is going to have. Well, that's what they call it. The Pixel, the next Pixel is leaked as Actually, they're saying that the next Pixel XL, the 3, will have a large notch, a taller notch.
Oh yeah. We did talk about that last week.
The taller notch
because
and a chin at the bottom.
It'll be,
but it's going
not
to
as
be
wide, but
yeah,
taller.
but it's going to be one of the largest phones. It's going to be like over 6.2. That's what they're saying.
So we're going back to phablet size.
Apparently.
I don't know.
The 3.
We'll see.
I mean, that's the rumor.
I don't understand if you're going to have the notch there, and this is same for the iPhone 10.
Yeah, but they started this.
They did. But if you're going to have the notch there, why? What does this get you? What do the two little edges get you? Just more screen space that
I think it's just
you can fill up with nothing.
Just a novelty.
It is a novelty. I would rather have it straight.
Okay, so I think part of what they're doing.
No metaphor there. Not picking on anybody.
Part of what they're doing is in those notches, those little outliers that you're talking about, those inlets, if you will.
Sure.
They're putting things like antenna strength and Wi-Fi, and they're splitting up time on one side.
That's totally fine.
The little smiley face.
But other than that,
nothing. I mean, I don't know what you would do. I mean, because if you play a video, you don't want video interrupted by that notch right there.
Yeah.
I mean, that doesn't make sense. And that's been discussed. But here's the thing.
Sure we discussed
we
it.
have discussed it, but others have discussed it too. And that's
it's disgusting.
So the question on the table is notch or notchless. I mean,
I would rather have notchless until they have no notch at all, where it's just straight screen, like Lenovo was.
Yeah, but they're going to have a notch
portraying in their ads,
supposedly.
Yeah, no. Well, in the ads they were showing no notch, but then when they released it on June 5th, there was a notch.
There was a notch, yes.
And it's like, what are you doing different? Like, and that's the thing. What happened to Androids be different, not the same? I mean, I know that was 4 years ago that they had that.
Don't do evil.
No,
that's not the same thing.
No. Where they had the
sorry, I couldn't help it.
The song from Robin Hood. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna have to find this ad.
Oh, I apologize. I may not know what you're talking about right off.
Maybe it was Be Together, Not the Same. Was the Google? Let me make sure this is it before I turn volume on. Yes, it is. Maybe.
Oh, good heavens. Now we're really getting into something here.
Maybe that's not it.
Guru's going to listen to this back and say, what were y'all talking about? And I'm going to say, I don't know either, Guru. Notch
Android,
or
be
to
together.
not have a notch? That was fun. What would I say? Notch or notchless, maybe. I don't know. But anyway, while Bruce is figuring that out, the interesting thing to me.
Apparently, they've done a lot of commercials of that.
Oh,
not just the one.
Anyway, the question is, as we've said, what are we going to do with this notch? And obviously, some people are going to. I think some people are going to notice it, and it may even annoy them for a while, or some people's not even going to notice it at all. It's just going to be ubiquitous eventually. Everybody's going to do it a while until those that lead decide they don't want to do it, and then everybody's going to go back to no notch or whatever the next unique thing is. I mean, that's the way it's been forever, and I don't see that. I don't see that changing in my view. And Bruce is entwined in what he's doing, and he's not listening. This article is from The Verge. Lenovo's all-screen Z5 phone actually has a notch after all, and
found it. It's got all the animals.
What's it from? You talking about
it was a Google Android commercial.
Oh, yeah. Now, if we do this,
that commercial.
If we play this now,
that was short enough.
Now Australia's gonna come get us.
Australia's gonna come get us. Well, it is on YouTube.
Yeah. Good day, mate.
Oh man.
You know, this phone, the Z5, looks very similar to an Apple phone.
Oh yeah. And that was the thing. Whenever they were originally showing it and all the advertisements.
Yeah, right. Originally it looked like it was just going to be a solid
piece. Yeah,
solid
man.
piece.
And
I know Samsung is not following suit on this. I understand. Samsung is one of the ones that's not doing the notch.
I'm sure they're trying to figure out how can we do this without a notch. It's going to be
somebody's going to have to be
who's going to be the first person with it. And there was I can't remember the name of the company, but last week's show I'm pretty sure I put a link, and there was a company that's already made one. But it was a concept phone.
Well, aren't they all?
Well, yeah. But, I mean, they actually had it. I'm going to have to look at last week's notes. And that's something I never do. Let's look at the notes.
Oh, good grief. It's going to kill him.
Well, we're done. I'm done getting sidetracked on that.
He's going to have to look at the notes.
We'll have better stuff coming up. Stay with us. Hey, Techie Show.
Tech questions? We have answers. Give us a call, 256-782-5600.
Watch out for people riding bikes. It's not just courteous. Now it's the law. The new 3 Feet for Safety Act requires that drivers give at least 3 feet of space when passing bicyclists. More and more people are commuting and touring Alabama on bicycles. As the number of cyclists on our roads increases, so does the need for safe driving. So slow down and give cyclists 3 feet of room. Follow the rules of the road and watch out for each other. Learn more at drivesafealabama.org. Sponsored by ALDOT, the Alabama Broadcasters Association, and this station.
Do you have a product, service, event, or just about anything to promote, but you have always assumed it was just too expensive? Then listen up, it's not. Here at WLGS, we have every patron spot available with a pricing plan that is sure to fit any budget. Just think your very own patron announcement with the potential to reach thousands. There are a few restrictions, but let us worry about that. Email us at questions@heytechieshow.com. That's questions@heytechieshow.com.
They say timing is everything. So, starting right here, right now. It's a great time for anybody ready to get some real work done in Alabama. Wake up! It's time to grow. 'Cause here, preparing for success starts before kindergarten, and it never, ever ends. And now, right now, we can deliver the right skills, the knowledge, the tools, and the experts to help put them all to work seamlessly. Whether you're somebody who needs to hire, somebody who wants to get hired, or a student who wants to know how to prepare to get hired, wherever you call home in the great state of Alabama, there's a new unified force for your success and a brighter future. It's time to get to work, Alabama. Alabama works.
Sponsored by Alabama Works, the ADA, and this station. Visit alabamaworks.com.
I spend a lot of time in the backyard, and I'm the center of attention at summer barbecues. In '96, I made some of the tastiest s'mores you've ever had. In '01, we stayed up all night telling ghost stories with the neighbors. Yeah, I know I've got a bit of wear and tear. And sadly, in '09, it was me, your backyard fire pit, that accidentally started a wildfire. When a summer breeze carried one of my embers into some dry brush.
Sparks from an improperly extinguished fire pit can start a wildfire. Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com, brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Welcome back into the Hey Techies show. Yeah, you know that guy, a little Tom Lowe.
So
Bruce is laughing at
I'm
what
sorry.
songs I'm picking up.
I gotta bring this up, and people are gonna be like, "Oh, wait a second, I need to go back and listen." So I asked
No,
Mikey,
they won't be
I was
able
like,
to. You'll have to wait till this is on the Hey Techies Rewind. We
Yeah.
don't. I mean, it's not on YouTube. And
well, I mean, they can still.
No, I have to cut all that out for the podcast.
Well, on the podcast, they can download it and listen.
I
to
cut
it.
all that out on the podcast.
Do you
have
really?
To. Yes,
Oh,
you have to.
Not on our podcast.
Yes, that's against the rules. That's way. You're not supposed to have any kind of music on that.
Oh, that's bull butter.
No, it's true. But anyway, go ahead. Hey Techies Rewind. They can listen to it on Sundays.
Is there a theme to these?
There's not. And
Because I
don't
feel
say
like
it.
there is. No, I'm not going to say what it is.
There
I think
isn't
people
one.
could easily figure it out, but it is not intentional. We'll see.
Look. Here's the deal. I'll be honest with you. I didn't have time
He had songs queued up. They disappeared.
That is true. This was one of them, though.
It was one of them?
It was one
Okay.
of them, though. It's a long story, but I'm having to do this with two different places because I didn't have songs to put on my to choose. I didn't want to repeat the ones I'd had previous weeks. Ran out of time to get it done. That's the reality. So I'm having to just use whatever's coming up here.
I'm just going to say there's an unintentional theme to the songs he's playing tonight.
Okay, leave it alone with that. Please leave it alone. There is no theme otherwise, or intentional or otherwise. Moving
It's
along.
still funny.
Did you
just with
know?
songs.
Yeah, well, it's not intentional, and I really never thought about that song that way, but I guess it is.
Okay.
I
Hey, all right.
I really just like
All
the
right.
first part of it.
Sure.
I would like to have a what do you call it? Just an instrumental of that song.
Oh yeah,
That's what
I think there's been plenty of instrumental
Oh,
parts of songs I think we should just do.
Oh, I agree totally. Did you and this is going to be a quickie? I hope. No pun intended to that.
All theme related.
The U.S. strikes a deal with China's ZTE.
Yeah, so we were just talking about how other countries
Yeah.
taking money. We're getting in on the action, apparently.
And we're cheap though.
Yeah, we're cheap. Only $1 billion.
Yeah. A $1 billion penalty against ZTE.
ZTE. And they have to replace their entire board.
We're going to have a compliance team.
Yeah.
From what I understand.
Within 30 days.
Mm-hmm. Going to
so they'll
literally
appoint some puppets.
On Squawk Box, apparently, they said going to embedding a compliance department of our choosing into the company to monitor it going forward.
So my thing is ZTE signing off on this? Or are they like,
apparently,
okay?
Apparently, the deal includes $400 million to escrow to cover any future violations, as well as requiring ZTE to change its board of directors and executive team in 30 days.
And they're just like, okay.
Well, I guess they're afraid they're going to be cut off of a very large market. Because, I mean, that was the alternative, or they were going to get hit by tariffs that were very large.
Now, what about Huawei?
Well, what about Huawei? I mean,
there's nothing on them, huh?
I haven't seen anything. But, I mean, I think they were on the list of ones that might
Yeah, they
might
were.
have issues.
Absolutely were. So, got a somewhat interesting story. I don't think we talked about this last week. But Valve says they will stop removing controversial games on Steam unless they are illegal.
I saw
or
this
straight up trolling
and didn't know. I know what it's talking about now.
Yeah. So there was if you, I guess, just missed it and we didn't discuss it. If you did miss it, there was a game released on Steam Marketplace. That was basically a simulated school shooting game.
Okay.
And it came out around a school shooting. And sure, that was in poor taste. But I agree with Valve's stance that they're taking on this. Because what they did was kind of knee-jerk. They said, nope, we're pulling that. Because once you start censoring, it's a slippery slope.
Yeah, I think you've got to have some kind of decorum, though. I don't. That's not good.
It's an open marketplace.
Yeah,
and
but
they said illegal or straight up trolling. Now, given the timing for that, I can see yes.
Okay, fine and dandy. Let's fine and dandy. Let me ask you a question.
Sure.
How do we feel about pedophilia? Is it an open marketplace?
That's illegal.
This is illegal.
What?
Well, no, it's not illegal. I didn't mean it that way. I guess it's not illegal. But still, it's in bad taste among other things.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Is this a company that had? This is not a government agency saying they're going to do this. This is a company
yeah, Valve, saying
they have every right to say
they're not going. And that's what I'm saying. So this is the thing too. Now, given the release of that game during the
I've never heard
events
of this.
that occurred,
anyway.
But if you look at it from a different angle and say, well, maybe this is a simulation for the other side, so they can say, all right, this is how we combat this. Or here's a scenario on what to do and to say safe. You can put,
you can make that argument, but I doubt kids are playing it. People that are playing it.
I mean, kids may play it once for the novelty, but it's not going to be mainstream. They want to play Battlefield, or they want to play Fortnite.
Yeah, I know
they want to play that stuff. It was definitely something to create controversy.
Well, I don't disagree with you there. Clearly, it's a controversy.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is I agree with Valve on this.
You agree with Valve on this, that
Yeah.
they're saying,
They're
we're
gonna
not going to
say,
take it off.
Well, I don't know if they didn't put that back up, or I know they took it down originally, but they said they will no longer remove games unless they are illegal or straight up trolling. So that's the thing. The straight up trolling, that still leaves, them to be objective on some things.
Mm-hmm.
To say, well, no, we think that's trolling. Well, is it really? When is it blatantly obvious? Or when is it straight up in their words? But what I'm saying is I agree with them. They are allowing freedom of expression.
Okay. What do you want me to say?
I don't know. I guess we debated it.
Well, I told you how I felt. I think it's terrible
that they're gonna not take stuff down. You think that's terrible? That's opposite of what I thought you would think.
Well, no, I think that they need to use judgment and see that there's no. I don't believe there's a positive in allowing that one. I'm sorry, I just don't agree with that. I think you've got to use judgment here, and in the situations we're in, that's not a good one. That's just I just don't agree with it. I don't agree with it. I think that if I was them, I would take it down.
Now, I have not seen the game. Now, did the game have actual children in place that you were shooting, or was it you were just simply in a school?
I admit I haven't seen the game, but I don't like the whole idea of it. Is all I'm saying. And you're asking my opinion, and I'm saying if I was in charge, I was them, I wouldn't allow it. I don't think.
Okay,
I don't think it shows any positives.
Okay,
what positive would?
Well, would you allow?
Now you're going to get in hypotheticals.
Well, no.
And
what I'm saying
not being hypothetical.
Is would you allow a war game? That's like Battlefield.
Yeah, but that's tons different.
Is it?
In my opinion, it is.
But is it? You're still killing.
Yeah, but it's different. That's a war.
Sure.
That's not innocent kids in a high school.
There may be innocent children in the game that get shot.
I realize that.
Of course, I haven't played some of those FPSs in a while, and I doubt they put that in there. I doubt EA's going to have children running around.
I don't see. My son plays some of. Yeah. He likes the World War II ones, and he likes. Sure. I think they play that Fortnite. I've heard them mention that, but they don't live around it 24/7. I mean, they're not in there in the middle of the night because we have rules at my house.
Sure.
And I don't have to.
It's summertime, man. There's no rules for the summertime.
I don't have to have a screen turn off control.
Yeah.
I have a thing called discipline.
Yeah.
And basically, I say, okay, put it down.
And
if we don't do that, then we don't have it for a while.
Yeah.
So I don't have my app is called Discipline. It works every time. It's cheap too. It's free of charge. Don't I hear you, and I understand about the slippery slope thing.
Yeah.
But just my opinion, I think they would be wise in not allowing that on their network.
Again, like they said, if it's illegal or straight up trolling.
I get it. I do.
And
here again,
that
this is
I could
coming.
see they say that's straight up trolling.
This is me coming from limited knowledge of gaming. I admit that.
Yeah.
I'm probably behind. I'm not a big gamer, so there's a lot of these things I don't know about, admittedly.
Yeah.
So that was Valve. So
yeah.
I get.
Yeah, they are who own and operate Steam.
Steam, yeah, okay. Yeah. I've heard of that.
Yeah. Which had a vulnerability in it for the last 10 years that they finally fixed.
Oh.
Which is insane. I sure hope I have not opened Steam on my computer in a while. I sure hope it updated itself. I need to go check that.
So you stream some of your games?
Do I stream them? No.
Isn't that what this does?
No.
Or I'm
no, it's basically.
Oh, it's just a place you can download it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Purchase,
I'm sorry.
and it keeps your library.
Okay, I apologize.
So when I buy a new computer, I can just log into my account.
Right, and then you can download what you're playing.
Yes. So, We're gonna talk about Microsoft for a little bit.
Oh boy.
Two things. I'm not sure which one to bring up first, so I think I'll bring this one up since we're in the debating mood. Microsoft has an undersea data center.
Yeah, I had that link too.
Did you?
Yes.
And it can survive an EMP bomb and space weather.
Wow.
I'm not really sure if I care about the EMP bomb.
I know we talked about that how many times.
I guess for me, because they talk about how much money they're saving on cooling.
Right. We've talked about this a possibility before on the show. It's been rumored.
So if this became a big thing, this can be a big problem for the ocean.
Oh, here we go. It's going to warm the ocean.
No. I'm not saying warm the ocean.
Okay, well, it's going to pollute the ocean.
Well, that and there has to be an insane amount of maintenance that has to be done to these things.
I think you mentioned this when we talked about it before. There would be an insane amount of maintenance. I remember something.
Did we talk about this?
Well, we talked about that there's an idea that they were going to do this.
Okay. Because salt water.
No,
like,
now they're
Lord.
Yeah, I mean,
it's got to be
very corrosive.
Very corrosive. I'm not sure how deep because I did not go that deep into the article. How deep they're putting, but I can imagine the pressure that's put in there. I'm curious too. I mean, all this has to be solid state drives because they would not put spinning disk down there because I would think it wouldn't take much to interrupt those, those drives. The motion of the ocean would cause those drives to maybe hit their right heads.
14 miles from the coast, 40-foot container. It would be sit 14 miles from the coast. I'm trying to see.
It doesn't say how deep.
I don't see that, and that's probably not something they want to tell anybody about. Be my guess.
Yeah.
But it's even surprising that they're telling them how far it is from the coast.
Well, they said about.
They did say about. About 22 kilometers. I almost said kilometers.
Kilometers?
Yeah. A 40-foot container.
I wonder how far you have to get off till you're in international waters.
I would assume that depends on where you're near. I would guess.
I don't know. Can't touch this.
Okay.
So I don't know. That was just I was interested in that, and that's my thing. Is I guess the debate I'm trying to bring up is the potential pollution that can occur.
Well, that's funny that you mentioned that. This article's talking the exact opposite of that. They're talking about the potential pollution that's not going to occur.
Like?
Well, because they're going to reduce their footprint, their carbon footprint with this.
Okay, that's fine and dandy, but what if something happens to this thing? Is it just going to be left in the ocean? And this stuff's going to corrode. I mean, unless they have done something amazing. I'm interested. What do you do for maintenance on this thing? I mean, if they're submerging it, it's going to have to come up to be painted.
Well, I'm sure
they do that with submarines, right? They have to come up and they have to paint the things. And, or is a coral reef going to be built on this thing? Like, I don't know. I just think it's interesting. But to stay on Microsoft for a little bit more.
Here we go.
Big announcement this week for them. Some disappointment for many. I think a lot of people are moving their stuff. Microsoft for $7.5 billion.
That's true.
Has purchased GitHub.
They did. I saw that, and I did read some about it. It was kind of interesting. And we talked about it before the show.
Yeah, we debated a little bit on this. On like what's their end game here. And you were telling me about all the companies.
Yes, I mean, every major software company puts software on there.
And what's your theory? What do you think they're going to use this for?
I don't know. I mean, my hope is that they'll make it better. But
you hope,
yeah, my hope is. But Microsoft has a tendency to break
Skype
everything. Yeah, right. Has a tendency to break many things they get a hold of,
Sure.
or just discontinue them altogether. I don't know that this would happen with this. It's such heavily used. But I think the bigger question for me is, like you said, you were just stating, will a majority or enough of a majority move their stuff from this over concerns of Microsoft taking hold of that product and it no longer being open source? I think that is the concern.
So how many people left LinkedIn?
Well, yes, yeah, I know. Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, maybe,
I sure did.
Yeah, I did
LinkedIn
too.
was about the only social media that I had, and I used it about this much. And then Microsoft said,
but I think we more
"We're buying
along
it." I'm done.
But I thought we were more along the lines that left LinkedIn because of the leak that had happened prior. Right? Wasn't that the one?
No, I had already left. As soon as Microsoft announced.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking of something else.
Maybe.
I thought LinkedIn had a leak. Had a data leak. And
was that all around the same time?
That was before they bought them.
Okay, maybe
I'm pretty sure that was before they bought them.
And then maybe I was like, well, I'm not on there, so it doesn't matter.
I think that's
maybe that's
right.
what it was.
Yeah.
So I'm still not really sure on what I think about them purchasing GitHub. We can definitely go to the negative things that I'm thinking that, which when you were talking about WWDC earlier, I was thinking about Steve Ballmer going, developers, 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 developers. And just screaming, developers. So I think that's what it is. Copy paste.
Yeah.
Developers don't have to do as much.
Yeah, I suppose. Hey, Techie Show. We'll be right back.
HeyTechiesShow.com. Open 24/7, as long as we don't forget to pay the bill.
Right now, it's a great time for anybody ready to get some real work done in Alabama. Whether you're somebody who needs to hire, somebody who wants to get hired, or a student who wants to know how to prepare to get hired, there's a new unified force for your success and a brighter future. It's time to get to work, Alabama. Alabama works.
Sponsored by Alabama Works, the ADA, and this station. Visit alabamaworks.com.
Listen and imagine. It takes 5 seconds to send a text, and for those 5 seconds, you're driving blind. Life is worth more than a text. Stay alive. Don't text and drive.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org, a message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, Noise, and the Ad Council.
Watch out for people riding bikes. It's not just courteous. Now it's the law. The new 3 Feet for Safety Act requires that drivers give at least 3 feet of space when passing bicyclists. More and more people are commuting and touring Alabama on bicycles. As the number of cyclists on our roads increases, so does the need for safe driving. So slow down and give cyclists 3 feet of room. Follow the rules of the road and watch out for each other. Learn more at drivesafealabama.org. Sponsored by ALDOT, the Alabama Broadcasters Association, and this station.
Tweens have mastered the art of tuning out. Jen, there's a spider in the car. We're turning your room into a home gym. See? Nothing. But some messages need to get through. Like making sure they're buckled up the whole ride, every time. Do whatever it takes to make your child listen. Jen, I friended your boyfriend.
Wait, what?
Buckle up, sweetie.
Never give up until they buckle up. Learn more at safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
This is 91.9 FM, WLJS Jacksonville, your cure for common radio.
Go ahead, play it.
Developers, 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 developers.
Oh, good old Steve Ballmer and his developers. So that's where I'm thinking this GitHub purchase is going. They'll probably figure out some way that, AI will go through, figure out what the best functions are. Internally, they'll say, I need something that will do this. And they'll say, here's something that's already written.
Right.
Possibly. And this way, it CYA, when somebody's like, I wrote that, it's open source, you need to give me credit. And they'll say, yeah, it is, but we own it. Because we own GitHub. It was in your new privacy policy update. We stuck it in there with the GDPR.
Yeah.
That would have been a good time to do it because everybody said, okay, I agree, whatever.
I don't know.
I'm just saying, I mean, I know that seems underhanded, but you got to think that is reducing risk. And that's probably what they're interested in.
Yeah.
Just my opinion. I don't know. I could be totally wrong about that. But that's all I've come up with because I'm still like, I don't know what to think about this. But I think you're going to see a lot of people not posting. They're just going to post somewhere else.
That's what I'm
They're going to move it somewhere else.
Right. That's what I was wondering about. I mean, it seems like to me that would be the big concern. Surely Microsoft is somebody in Microsoft says, hey, don't you think we might be killing this thing if we get it? Somebody had to say that.
So why don't they just pick up and move somewhere else? Like, what's stopping them from doing that?
Yeah,
Because there's tons of places now to do that.
Right.
GitHub's not the only place. I think LinkedIn was very unique.
Well, but
there may not be other places that do what LinkedIn did.
But
as
not
well as
only
do.
that, something could come up, create itself that was similar to GitHub
absolutely.
out of this if there's a vacuum. I mean, I know you got GitHub, but but if people start leaving, then there's going to be an alternative somehow or another, whether or not it's successful. And of course, you've got name recognition here. Everybody's heard of GitHub that's in that. I mean, did you go to GitHub to get blah, 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 GitHub? Oh, yeah, you should go to GitHub
Posted that on GitHub.
I posted that on GitHub.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you got that to consider.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. Only time will tell. I don't know if I have a prediction for that.
I wonder help me out with this for a second, because I admit I don't peruse. Peruse GitHub. What is GitHub's profit model?
I do not know.
Do they have a lot of ads? I mean, I've been there a few times, but admittedly, I'm not much of a coder.
So you're asking the wrong person about ads.
Oh, yeah, I know.
But the stuff, when I've been on GitHub,
I mean, have you No,
I don't think at least I don't notice. Of course, I have ad blockers and all that.
Yeah, right.
There may be.
Well, I was just curious.
I kind of just don't pay attention to ads.
I mean, look, we know that, and we've talked about this. Servers cost money.
Sure.
The bandwidth costs money. Somebody's picking up the tab, and somewhere they're getting somewhere they got to be making some type of profit of some sort that Microsoft would even want them. I mean, surely they're not going to pay them a sum and then.
Hold on, let me.
Well, anyway, it's just something that came up in my mind. I was just curious about, exactly what would be.
I don't know my login for my GitHub account.
Oh, GitHub's model. By the way, while Bruce is sort of seeing if he can find that out.
GitHub does have enterprise. Accounts.
That must be. That's probably it. Yeah, I guess that would be right.
And they I guess the enterprise accounts subsidize the free accounts.
Yeah, that would make sense. And that was going to be the other thing I was thinking of. But even some places that have enterprise accounts, the free account side does seem to get ads at times for whatever product you're using.
Right? Is there still free accounts? Maybe that's the reason I don't know my account, because it may not be free anymore.
Anyway, there's no ads on their initial page.
Yeah,
you go to GitHub, now you got to sign up.
Yeah, you have developer accounts. I'm gonna say
Business Explorer, Marketplace, pricing. Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to see if I can log into my GitHub.
Actually, there isn't. I don't see a free anything. So it's developer is $7 a month. Team is $9. Business would be $21 per user for hosted on or GitHub Enterprise. Wow.
Yeah, I cannot find. It tells you how often I've contributed on GitHub. I don't have.
And the GitHub Enterprise, by the way, is sold in 10 packs. So you have to buy. Let's see, it's billed annually. So I mean, their model is totally understandable.
Yeah.
So I can understand why Microsoft might want this for sure. The question, like we still stands: are they going to kill it?
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Larry Page, by the way, has backed a flying car startup. Have you seen this thing?
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't look like a car. That's the thing. It's so far from a car. It looks more like a watercraft. Like it looks like an airplane that would land on water.
I'm gonna have to see the picture of this to make sure I'm thinking of the same one.
I mean,
how far are you down? Or is it up?
Oh, it would be down in I think in our let's see. You talking about our list here?
Yeah, on the show notes that I never look at.
Yeah, I had it listed. It says let's see. Where did I? Oh, it's not that far down. It's right under tvOS.
Oh,
yeah. Sorry.
You're fine.
Yep. Well, sorry. A little side note here, folks. We're just.
Oh no, I have not seen this one. That does look like a boat.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't really look like a car. I mean, I don't. It looks like a flying boat.
Good
or
Lord,
like a really small flying pontoon with pontoon.
It looks more like a catamaran.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, like a catamaran. You're absolutely right.
Oh, and it's only one seater too.
Yes.
So, yeah.
I mean, I think this is. The reason I brought it up is because it's an elitist marketing campaign.
Is it?
I don't know. I mean, my point is, who's going to be able to afford it when they make it? And it's just going to be for people, enthusiasts that want to do this. I mean, this is not.
I mean, I could see this somebody that already flies a plane.
Correct. Right. Now, this might be early stages, obviously, but
yeah, I don't know. This is does it tell what the max speed on this thing is?
Let's see. Don't see. I see more useless information here than. Oh yeah. Okay. Let's see.
Man, that's a lot of propellers.
Yeah.
It's got 10 of them.
Yeah, it's got propellers up and down the wings.
I mean, it's basically just a big.
You know, they don't.
I can't say it's a UAV, but I mean, it looks like just a big UAV.
Yeah. 10 small lift rotors on its wings. I thought I had I don't see it listed here. Thought I had an article that, but I don't see it listed here about
It's got an uncovered cockpit.
Yeah, it does.
Big enough for one person.
Right. So it's,
with their head poking out as it might be from a go-kart. And he's backing this thing?
Apparently.
Wonder what stupid thing I can come up with.
Well, you're not Larry Page.
Well, that's what I'm saying, to get him to back it.
Oh, yeah, right. Hey, Larry.
Back this.
Yeah.
I just need $1 billion. Okay, $500 million.
Yeah. Yeah, we know you're going to get hit by the EU, so we'll just give you a break.
Yeah. Well, one last thing.
Yeah, because that's about what we got left.
California weed dispensary can legally sell customer information to data brokers. California is expected to become the largest weed industry in the United States, but unlike other legalized states, it has no laws in place to protect cannabis consumer data. That is interesting.
I just don't see how that's legal.
I don't either.
I don't care. Even if you wanted to compare, but even the health industry would be even more illegal.
Yeah, and that's how that's
FERPA rules. No, HIPAA rules. Sorry, I've been in EDU too long. HIPAA rules alone would get you.
Yeah, because medical
correct,
marijuana
right.
is what they started on, but now it's completely legal.
Maybe.
Oh, goodness.
Maybe they're going on the people using it are not going to care if they actually use it. So it's, oh, dude, yeah, whatever, man. Whatever.
Can't sue them.
Yeah, right. So maybe
they give me my weed, man.
Right. Maybe it's something like
I need
that.
them.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's crazy.
Well, look, from me and Bruce and the absent guru, we appreciate all of you so much. And if you don't catch the show tonight, you can catch one of the shows, whichever may run on Sundays, I think at noon, on our Hey Techies Rewind. From all of us to all of you, have a fabulous weekend.
The Hey Techies Show is produced by The Guru and co-produced by Mike Stedham. Join us again next time for another exciting installment of The Hey Techies Show. It's going to be great, maybe.